Brock, the mayor had some comments with Chris McCarthy on the program talking about the future of retail in downtown New Bedford and suggested that what we're seeing right now is a resurgence downtown with various niche shops coming to be, niche restaurants like Greasy Luck and the other brew house, and suggested this is really the future of downtowns, these types of niche stores and that type of thing in terms of retail. That was posted to the WBSM website, and you responded to that by suggesting that you rarely go downtown. You said the parking is horrible, and said, no, I don't feel very safe in most of the city. I was really surprised by that. Is that truly how you feel?
It is. First of all, I think that the parking is atrocious. Everything from when they took away the Custom House Square parking lot to put in, I guess, the green space. That's what I used to utilize when I went downtown. Actually, to go downtown for a niche store was actually a comic book store that I patronized for many years downtown. But they took that away. Now they've added this new parking app, which is great, except now they don't accept credit cards at the meters apparently. So not everyone is app savvy with smartphones. I am, but it's still a hassle. But more importantly, no, I don't feel very safe downtown. I know that the mayor and the city council and everyone involved is trying very hard to make it a safe and inviting and welcoming area. It just doesn't feel that way to me, and it hasn't felt that way for quite a long time. It's just a matter of it's not a place that I want to go down and try to patronize those niche areas. I think it's great that they're coming in. I wish them all the best of luck. I hope they're very successful, and I hope that the revitalization of the city in general and that area in particular is successful. But the efforts that have been made really don't pull me down there. The only time I go downtown is to go to the Zeitarian Theater. Otherwise, I really don't patronize those places, as interesting and as they may be. I don't want to fight for parking at the meters. I don't want to walk around and feel like I have to look over my shoulder. And quite honestly, that's how I feel.
I certainly agree with you on the parking issue, and I think a lot of folks listening to this would agree with you on the parking issue. And I know for years the city's been trying to push the Elm Street garage, go park in the Elm Street garage, and walk up into the downtown. A lot of people don't like to do that. So I think I agree with you there, and I think a lot of folks will. I just wonder, have you had any personal experiences in the downtown area where your safety has been threatened, or you have felt threatened personally?
Well, I've had it where I've come out of the Zeitarian and tried to drive home, and I've seen police raids, apparently a prostitution sting. That's not very welcoming. I have not personally been assaulted or an attempted robbery, but the downtown area, unless I'm there for a large event, maybe like the Working Waterfront Festival kind of thing, it's not a very welcoming area. I've used the bus station. There's people hanging out in and around the bus station that are not very savory. When I have gone to some of the more niche stores, even a few years back when I was parking at Custom House Square, I have the feeling that I do have to keep an eye over my shoulder. It's not a very welcoming place as far as my experiences. I've had nothing happen to me, so I can't, and I won't claim the statistics are there that says it's a dangerous area, but it's not an area that I'm comfortable in, nor is much of my family. So as much as a lot of those little stores and restaurants might be wonderful, it's really not a place I tend to want to go, especially after dark.
I'm not trying to pick a scab here, but I'm just trying to get at the root cause of why you feel that way. I mean, if you've never personally felt threatened or been in a situation where you've been threatened, where does that come from?
It comes from, quite honestly, reading the news, listening to your station, just the observations I've had when I'm down there, where there's been gangs of people standing at the corners or following other people, following me. They haven't done anything to me. They haven't, it's one of those things. I don't have to have something happen to me to feel that it's not a inviting, welcoming, and ultimately it doesn't feel like a safe place. Perhaps if there weren't people just hanging about street corners, I might feel a little better if they weren't seemingly following you as you're walking around, maybe waiting for a show at the Z or going to one of the events. But it's the city itself, many areas of it, there's so much activity that I would much rather, given a choice, go to some place in Fairhaven or Dartmouth where it's brighter, it's less vagrancy, it's a little more reassuring than I feel downtown really is at this point.
Given the fact that next week, really, the tourism season kicks off with the Taste of South Coast, and then, of course, the following week is Memorial Day weekend. There are a lot of folks that are out there probably right now that are involved in the business sector in New Bedford and downtown in particular, or the tourist industry. They're probably kind of wringing their hands right now listening to this. Are you concerned about an impact that your comments may have? I mean, given the position that you hold within the Republican Party in the county?
No. I understand it's a tourist season starting, and I wish every institution and event the best. I love going down to the Whaling Museum myself. I don't do it as often as I should. I'm a member there. I do like the events, like when they've had the Working Waterfront Festival, and maybe in a large, like I said, in a large group setting. May not have that sort of sense, but you mentioned my opinion and my position with the Mass Republican Party. My number one thing is to tell the truth. And if my gut tells me that I don't feel comfortable, I don't feel safe, I'm sorry if that I might have a negative opinion. I'm not trying to bash the city of New Bedford. I'm not trying to bash any particular, institution, organization, business. I want New Bedford and I want the downtown to thrive, but at this point, it's not made enough progress for me to really go down there on a regular basis. I'm not going, again, between the perceived safety issues in much of the city, the parking issue that we've discussed, it's just not a place where it really, I find it inviting and welcoming to bring me down there. I hope it improves. I would love to patronize downtown New Bedford. It might be a generational thing. I don't have, I'm not of the generation where we went downtown all the time. We went to malls. We went to the Dartmouth Mall, the Galleria Mall. Those are dying off. Maybe the resurgence and the renaissance is in these niche locations. But as of right now, that particular part of the city, I don't take any happiness in saying this. It's just really not for me.
All right, just in closing, most of the comments that you've made so far have pertained to the downtown area, but you close out your remarks in this post by saying, and I quote, "I mostly drive to New England Comics at the intersection of Acushnet Avenue and Talking Hill Road, but that's about my level of interest in stores in the city." So now we've gone beyond indicting the downtown area, and you're talking about the entire city. You're saying really that you have no interest in the retail establishment in the entire city.
Well, again, that's a particular hobby of mine I've had for about 30 years, so I go where the store is. I joke with the workers there all the time that I wish they'd move to Dartmouth, wish they'd move to Fairhaven. Certainly parts that's on Acushnet Avenue. I won't go to certain parts of Acushnet Avenue, or I tend not to go because I don't really like the atmosphere in much of that area, especially further out parts. There are just parts of the city that I don't want to inhabit because of there's a sense of an element there that is not safe, that is not savory, that is not welcoming. Again, I don't take any pleasure in saying that. It's just personally, there's a feeling, there's an atmosphere that it's not the place to go. It's not the place to be. I wish it were differently. I hope it changes. It's just certainly not my cup of tea in those particular areas. So, my personal feeling is until certain places either get better in terms of everything from the parking to the feeling of safety and security, it's just not a place I want to be. To be honest with you, I don't go to. There's wonderful events, but I don't go to them either after dark because of the possibility of crime and violence. There's certain festivals and celebrations that are wonderful, but they're not for me. I tend not to go to them, or I go to them during the daytime when I personally feel safer, secure, and it's a more savory atmosphere.
Well, Brock, as a citizen of New Bedford, I'm sorry you feel that way. I wish maybe I could take you on a tour of the city and show you a different side of it. But I certainly do appreciate you being honest and your forthrightness, and we're going to put this out, and we're going to see what other folks think about it. And I appreciate you spending some time with us today.
No, thank you. It's I take no pleasure in saying what I've said. I wish it were a place where I felt I could stroll about freely with alone or with children or such that I had no concern anywhere in the city of New Bedford. I wish I had places I would know, but I don't feel that in Fairhaven. I don't feel that in Dartmouth. The statistics may bear out that New Bedford is a perfectly fine, safe, welcoming, inviting city. It's just not my sense. And therefore, again, I take no pride or pleasure in saying that. But you know what? If the mayor wanted, or you or someone wanted to take me on a tour of the city and visit some of those areas that may have a poor reputation, I wouldn't say no, because I want the Whaling City to thrive. And I would love for you or for the mayor or for others to prove me wrong.
Cordeiro, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.